Hey everyone, Happy New Year, and welcome to Basmanstudio. I'm Charles Basman. It's been a little while since I produced a video, so in this episode I'm going to teach you how to draw a horse. So no horsing around this time. We're going to do it from start to finish, and it's going to be great, so you'll enjoy it. And I just want you to sit back and relax, enjoy this new lesson from Basmanstudio. So here we are. When you start drawing a horse, just like anything else, start with a geometric shape. And I'm just demonstrating the different geometric shapes, like triangular shapes for the head and neck, and a curved shape for the body. So if you keep it simple, right, and you just think of big shapes, and then you can draw the legs. So remember, no detail yet. Just think of big shapes. And it's basically the sketch part. So you have like different shapes, as you can see. And here I'm using my charcoal and white chalk in holders. So these are going to be my drawing materials for this particular drawing. Now, just as I did before, you start with the shapes. And if you think of a horse's head as more like a triangular shape, as if you were to draw a human being, it would be an oval shape. So just think of geometric shapes when you're drawing anything, really. If you break it down into geometric shapes, it just helps. It helps you draw something, and helps it have solidity. So I'm just putting in like the main areas right now. And just placing the eye. There's no detail yet, but just placing the eye where it should be. And the nostril. And it's starting to look like a horse, as you can see. And we can't forget the tail, of course. And we're just going to give it some weight, so I added a horizon line. Basically just the line that goes right across. And you can see that already gave the horse some weight, some gravity, and placed it somewhere as well. And now we're just adding shadows, so I chose the light source to come from above, meaning that the shadows are going to be underneath. And you just want to simply go around. Remember, this is still like the very simple stage. There's no detail yet. And we could add the horse's mane. So little by little, we start to get a little bit more detailed, slowly, and just a few more shadows. And with charcoal, you could use your fingers to soften the shadows. It's really beautiful to do that. A little messy, but it's really beautiful to do that, like just to soften shadows and make them a little bit more, make them look a little bit more real and not as sharp. So you can see it really helps. And you just want to go around and add anything that you think is missing. But you want to look at everything. You just don't want to focus on one area. I'm looking at everything as a whole. It's like a whole scene. And so just adding a few more of the horse's hair. And now we could add a bit more of a darker shadow. Like this is going to help pull out the horse from the background. So this is where you could get a little bolder. But don't rush, just take your time. You certainly don't want to rush. The more experienced you get, the faster this all is, but don't worry if it takes you a little longer. It's all practice. And I'm just putting that as a contrast to pull the horse out from the background. So little by little it starts to come together in broader detail. And just darkening the shadows just to give it a bit more weight. By weight, I mean just to give it more solidity. And you see how I'm going around the drawing. I'm not focusing on one area, and this is what you want to do. Treat it like a movie set. Like it's just everything has to work. And just adding a bit more shadow. And you can see I'm working on the legs now, so just strengthening the darks just a little bit more. And charcoal is very beautiful, as you can see. It gets very dark, and you can get really strong, expressive shadows of charcoal. I recommend getting a holder. If you don't mind getting a little bit messy, you could use it as is without a holder. But if you do mind getting messy, you could buy any holder, plastic or brass, and place the charcoal in there. And again, I'm adding a little bit more in the foreground. And now I'm using my white chalk. This is going to be for our highlights and reflected light. It's quite beautiful, and because this is toned bluish paper, you can see the white shows a little bit. Not too strong, but just a little bit. And it's going to help give the horse a bit more of a three-dimensional quality. So I tend not to want to overdo white chalk, so I just add it where in a few areas just to heighten a few things, but I don't go everywhere on the drawing with white chalk, just a few places. But it's very beautiful to use. And again, you could either use it in a holder or you could just use it straight if you don't mind getting a little messy. And just adding a little bit white chalk in the clouds. And you can see it's starting to really have solidity. And now the final details. I added mountains in the back. And I made sure I didn't want to put too much to take attention away from the horse. So just to help it. Remember, if you're going to add something, add it to help your subject, not to divert attention from it. And just a few more details. To me, adding the final details is probably the most fun part in a drawing. We all have our most enjoyable parts when we're painting or drawing, and to me, the details are probably the most enjoyable. So just adding a little bit more white. And you can see the white is really helping. And lastly, just a few more hairs of the mane of the horse with the black chalk. And you can see how beautiful and dark the black chalk is on this blue paper. And here we have our finished drawing of the horse. A lot of fun to draw. I hope you give it a try. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson from Basmanstudio. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. And also don't forget to subscribe to see new videos coming soon. If anyone has anything that they'd like to see that I haven't done yet in a video, please let me know and I'll be glad to consider it for the next video or a video in the future. So thanks again for tuning in. Thank you everyone who has subscribed, and I'll see you next time at Basmanstudio. Have a great New Year, everyone, and don't forget to create. Take care. Bye.